The Mumbai juggernaut continues to keep rolling, and it just crushed the Kolkata Knight Riders today. This is another episode of End of Days Play, and you're watching Uninvited Opinions. Nags, Mumbai Indians look unstoppable.
Yeah, so much so that they actually tried making life difficult for them by adding a new player to their playing 11 just to keep the squad fresh and just in case they are needed at a crucial stage. So Nathan Coulter-Nile came in giving James Pattinson a break and conceded 51 runs of his 4 overs. But I think that's as much as Mumbai could concede to Kolkata because they were on top of the game right from the start and they finished it clinically.
Absolutely. So much so that the most eventful act of the day happened before the game started, with Dinesh Karthik surprisingly resigning as the KKR captain and handing over the reins to Owen Morgan. I didn't probably see it coming. It was probably driven by the fact that maybe Karthik was probably feeling a little too much pressure on himself, or he felt that with Morgan being a very capable leader, he felt he's probably better off handing over the reins to him. And I also get the impression that maybe Brendan McCullum might have also had a role to play in this.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when off-field events are being talked about more than the on-field events, then I think we know that the game hasn't had much for us to discuss. And this, of course, came as a surprise, as a shock. But I wouldn't necessarily buy the fact that it was Karthik who voluntarily stepped down. I think that's just a story being floated around for people to sugarcoat the actual event. I don't know what has transpired behind the scenes, but whatever it is, I don't think it augured well for Kolkata today. They looked completely out of sorts. All credit to Dinesh Karthik for actually having pulled out those two heists in the last two games. And I think Kolkata were quite reasonably well placed at number 4 in the table, so they weren't doing too poorly. So I don't think such a decision was needed, at least not midway through the tournament, and it almost appeared knee jerk. And today it actually showed in their game when all their batsmen completely looked lost.
But if Erwin Morgan has proven one thing, he's proven that he's an excellent leader of men, and he has in the past pulled England out of the rubble and turned them into a fantastic one-day team to watch. I don't know if he has enough time to turn it around in this year's tournament. This reminds me of him being handed the England captaincy just before the 2015 World Cup, and he did not have enough time to work his magic. But we did see how he's transformed the England one-day team and the T20 team over the years. So yeah, only time will tell how this is going to pan out.
Here's hoping that Owen Morgan has a better tournament as a leader for KKR than he had with England in the 2015 World Cup.
Fingers crossed. KKR looked lost both in their batting and their bowling. They just didn't seem to have any momentum. They couldn't find any batsman who could step up the run rate or take the initiative. Mumbai bowlers were continuously onto them, and except for Nathan Coulter-Nine, as you mentioned, everyone else was on the money. They kept taking wickets at regular intervals, and KKR just couldn't get any momentum going. And for a moment, when Andre Russell came in earlier than usual today, not necessarily up the batting order, but just because there were a number of wickets lost, he it felt that he hit a six, he then hit a boundary. It felt that he might again pull off some sort of a miracle, but then Jasprit Bumrah was just brilliant, followed him with a short ball as he backed away trying to hit him over the offside, and Russell had no other opportunity other than to just react and spoon an edge to the keeper. And when it came to the bowling, they look completely clueless again, and at no point in time did they look like they were going to stop the Mumbai team from getting to a comfortable win. Quinton de Kock was just in smashing form, so much so that he allowed Rohit Sharma to play a very sedate innings by his standards. And even though they lost a couple of wickets later on in the innings, at no point in time did they seem troubled and coasted to a comfortable victory in the 17th over with 8 wickets to spare. So it was a sad game to see. There's not a lot in the game to talk about. I can't see any positives for KKR emerging from this game, and for Mumbai, they already have so many positives. I can't see what other positive we can find out from today's game. So yeah, I can just I just hope that KKR pull up their socks and rediscover their mojo and put up a fight for the rest of the tournament.
Yes, for the last 2 days, we've been having games that have been close, that had had some excitement through the innings. But this was, thanks to a cameo of sorts from Pat Cummins, it got Kolkata to some respectability in terms of their total. Otherwise, Mumbai were anyway going to finish it off very early. And Mumbai had all the opportunity to make experiments with Hardik Pandya walking in ahead of Ishan Kishan to get some hit out in the middle, and he finished handsomely with a smashing 21. So everything going right for Mumbai, and not one thing going right for Kolkata. On that note, actually, I want to ask you: um, uh, is it worth having a player of the stature of Andre Russell in the side, from whom you keep hoping that there will be one game in the tournament where he'll come good and he'll smash everyone out of the park. And in the hope of that one game, he ends up playing the whole tournament and ends up having a rather mediocre performance. Is it worth having him still in your playing 11?
Well, I think Andre Russell still offers, you another dimension with his bowling as well, and he's generally had a decent tournament as far as bowling is concerned. He's come on later in the power plays, especially at the death, and has taken KKR to a couple of useful victories. So I think he still has a role to play, and it's just unfortunate that none of the batsmen clicked today, and he's been woefully out of form with the bat. So even though today was probably a good opportunity for him, he didn't make the most of it. So that is going to be a worrying factor for KKR. So who's your pick for the man of the match?
I think Quinton de Kock was comfortably the man of the match in my books as well, for the ease with which he took the bowlers on. And in the power play itself, Mumbai ran away too far ahead of where Kolkata could have hoped to have caused some jitters. So Quinton de Kock comfortably the man of the match for me.
So looking at tomorrow's games, we've got another double header, and then these keep coming thick and fast at us. So the first one is between the Rajasthan Royals and the Royal Challengers Bangalore, which is going to be played at Dubai. Your pick, Nags?
I'll say it's a clash between two flawed teams. The one who makes fewer errors, fewer tactical blunders will probably win. But I think still in terms of quality and in terms of form, RCB edged Rajasthan. But that's not to say that Rajasthan can't turn it around. But I think I'll still go with RCB.
Yeah, I'm going with RCB, provided ABD bats at number 4. The second game is between the Delhi Capitals and the Chennai Super Kings, which is going to be played at Sharjah. And your pick for this game is?
I'll still go with Delhi Capitals. I know the Sharjah pitch has slowed down and the CSK bowlers are going to be licking their lips. But I think there is enough quality in the spin department as well with DC. So regardless of whether they bat first or second, I think they have the game to see them through.
Well, the Chennai boy in me, refuses to support anyone else apart from CSK. So CSK it is. That's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to keep more videos coming your way. And as always, stay tuned for another episode tomorrow. Until then, see ya.